Hello guys, welcome to PTK. We are going to discuss about functions. From the last week I didn't update any video, so now let's discuss functions. A function is a block of reusable code that performs a specific task. Functions help break our program into smaller module chunks. For our application and a high degree of code reusing, a function is a block of code which only runs when it is called. You can pass data known as parameters into a function. A function can return data as result. There are two types of function type. They are called built-in function and user-defined function. Built-in function. Python gives you many built-in functions like print function, user-defined function. You can also create your own functions. These functions are called user-defined function. So let me give a syntax how to make a function. So here is the syntax. So this is the syntax. First we keep the div keyword, give a space and give the function name. Afterwards keep parentheses and give parameters. Afterwards again close it by the parentheses and keep colon. After keeping the enter, and we have to give a docstring statement in the written expression. Now note, by default parameters have a position behavior and you need to inform them in the same order that they were defined. What function will do? Functions will do a task by executing a statement or a written value. Calling a function. To call a function, use the function name followed by the parentheses. So here is one example. So I made a function named greet_me. So I kept a name named Karthik. So I want to execute hello, then name plus good morning. So what does it will execute? It will execute hello, then what's the name? That's Karthik. Hello Karthik, then it will execute good morning. So hello Karthik, good morning. So if I execute it, hello Karthik, good morning. Now let me give our parameters and arguments. The terms parameter and arguments can be used for the same thing, information that are passed into a function. Now let me give one example. So I'm going to make a function name my name. So here is the function. So what I give, so here is the function. So what I gave here is that I made a function named my name and I gave two parameters, f name and l name. So I'm going, in that function I kept print f name and last name. If I keep my name PTK and Karthik, it comes execute PTK Karthik as because this f name and l name are in the function and this print is in the function. And when we execute a function giving these things, it will think that this is the f name and this is the last name, and it will execute PTK and Karthik. Now I'm going to say you about docstrings. The first string after the function is header. Header is called the docstring and it is the short for documentation string. It is briefly used to explain what a function does. The string is available to use, available to us as the doc attribute of the function. So here is the example. Let me give one example. So here is an example. So here I kept greet me but I kept docstring as well. If I execute it, that, so it goes to the docstring, that is this, and executes that. So if I take this me out, if I execute it now and see, it won't execute that me. So it goes to the docstring and execute it. That's how the docstring is used. Now I'm going to explain to you about return statement. The return statement is used to exit a function and go back to the place from where it was called. Here is the syntax of the return statement. So we have to give the return keyword, then we have to give an expression list. So now let me give an example on return statement. So here is an example using return statement. So I made a function named my name and kept two parent f name and l name. Then I kept a name equal f name plus l name, and I kept return name and print my name ptk and Karthik. So what it did is that using the return thing, the name exited the function. So the f name and l name came to my name and it was called ptk and Karthik and kept to my name. So when we execute the my name, it comes ptk and Karthik. Discuss about scope and lifetime of variables. All variables in a program may not be accessible at all locations. In the program, this depends on where you have declared a variable. The scope of a variable determines the proportion of the program where you can access a particular identifier. There are two basic scopes of variables in Python. They are called global variable and local variable. Global are the local variables. Variables that are defined inside a function body have a local scope, and those defined outside have a global scope. This means that local variables can be accessed only inside the function in which they are declared, whereas global variables can be accessed throughout the program body by all functions when you call a function. The variable is declared inside it are brought into scope. Following is a simple example. So here is the example I'm going to show you. So here is, so here kept made a function named my name and kept two parameters, that are f name and l name. So I made a I made name equals f name plus l name, and afterwards I kept return name. Now I'm going to print my name ptkl and Karthik, and name global variable my name is ptk Karthik, print name. If I execute it, comes ptk Karthik, global variable my name is ptk Karthik, as because ptk and Karthik are local variables. But now so if I execute this, it comes same. Now let us discuss about default arguments. Functions arguments can have default values in Python. You can provide a default value to an argument by using assignment operator equal. Here is an example I'm going to show you. So at my name function, I kept two parameters, fname and lname. So lname has a default argument. In this function, the parameter fname does not have a default value and lname have default value. For fname, value is required mandatory during a call function and lname is optional during a call. If lname value is provided by calling a function, it will override the default num value. So here actually lname is psychati, but when we keep here it will become Kartik L. So if I execute this, it becomes Kartik L. That means it will override its default value and became Kartik L. But if I don't use Kartik L, it will become PTKL and Psychati, as because fname is already PTKL. Name for there is no argument, there is no value here, so it goes to its default value Psychati. Any number of arguments in a function can have default value, but once we have a default argument, all the argument right must have only default value. This means to say non-default arguments cannot follow default arguments. For example, if we have defined function header about us. So let me give one example of it. So if you execute this, it comes Kartik, and as it is overwriting its default value. But if we make another parameter without has not default value, it could come an error. So let me keep yes name surname. It's coming wrong. But why? As I said that the right side parameters should have a default value. So if I keep a default value here as ch, it could come PTK Kartik. Now I'm going to tell you about orders of the parameters. So let me give one example about it. So here is the example I'm going to show you. So I made a function name call and I name and yes AL salary. Now yes salary equals salary divided by 20 with name and cal 5000 Kartik. So that means name is an integer and Kartik is a string. To execute it, but why did it come wrong? The answer is that you see name has no text. It's 5000, but in sal it's Kartik. So it can't be divided by 20. So it came an error. Now let me tell you about keyword arguments. You can also send argument with the key value syntax. This way the order of argument does not matter on and not required. So here is an example I'm going to show you. Here's an example I'm going to show you. So here lname and fname are the parameters. So lname has Kartik as its value and fname has PTK as its value. But give PTK first, but we execute lname first only. But how? As it will go to the order from here. So we'll execute this, then this. So PTK came first as the first is fair and left name here, so it will execute this. Now I'm going to tell you about arbitrary arguments. If you do not know how many arguments that will be passed into your function, add an asterisk before the parameter name in the function definition. This way, the function will receive a tuple of arguments and can access the items accordingly. So here is an example I'm going to show you. So here, I made a function named arname and I made a parameter names and I kept an asterisk here. So print my surname dash 2 index 2. So it will execute my surname and what is here and index is there. So this is 0 because index starts from 0, 1 and 2. If I execute this, it comes my surname ch. If I keep 1, it will come my surname as Kartik, and when I keep 0, it will come my surname as PTK. So here is the example. This is the example. So we keep here an asterisk. Now arbitrary. Now I'm going to say you about arbitrary keyword arguments. If you do not know how many keyword arguments that will be passed into a function, add 2 asterisks instead of 1 before the parameter name in the function definition. This way the function will receive a dictionary of arguments and can access items accordingly. If example I'm going to show you, if the number of keyword arguments is unknown, add a double asterisk before the parameter. Let me show you. So here I have ABK slash NAME and its parameters 2 asterisk names. So if I execute it, it comes my surname Kartik as N name here, will go L name here. But here L name is a variable. It's a variable and its value is Kartik. So it came Kartik. But if I keep yes name here, becomes CH instead. My surname CH. And if I keep F name, it will come F name. I mean PTK. My surname PTK. Now we are going to talk about passing. We are going to discuss about passing a list as an argument. You can send any data type of argument to a function like string, number, list, dictionary, etc. That means we can send any data type. So I'm going to send a data type list as an argument. We can even send strings, numbers, lists, dictionaries, and tuples inside the function. Example, if you send a list as an argument, it will still be list when it reaches the function. So here is an example. So I made a function named list and list1 and its parameter is fruits. Fruits is an list here and I'm going to keep for loop inside the function for x in fruit print x. So what it will do is it will take the fruits and keep it to x, and when we execute it, it came all the elements. Now let me tell you the pass statement. Function definitions cannot be empty, but if you need for some reason have a function definition with no content, but put in the pass statement to avoid getting an error. So here is an example I'm going to show you. So here I'm not going to give pass actually, but if we execute it, but why it came an error as it have to have something so that it will execute with no error. So but if you don't want to do anything, you have some functionalities with you and you want to do it that coded, but you don't want to implement it, so we keep the pass. So if I execute it now, no error, then nothing gets executed. This is the end of our session. For now, bye bye.